Open lines, 248-539-9797. It's great to be with you here on a Tuesday that sees us getting ready for the Detroit Lions preseason opener on Thursday. Dan Campbell spoke today and was pretty. It felt like I was listening to a pregame press conference, and I guess it kind of is a pregame press conference, but it got me fired up for football all over again. And they scrimmaged today. Starters were out there, and they probably won't play this week. In fact, he mentioned he didn't expect Tate Ratledge to play or Tyleik Williams to play, their first-round pick, the defensive tackle out of Ohio State. I mentioned Pascal will be a little slow getting back. But ultimately here, Scott, I'm fired up because it's game week. It is game week, my friend.
Yeah, I'm really fired up. I know that we're not going to see a bunch of starters play, but it is football, which is great. And the guys that I'd like to see are going to get a lot of time. I want to see Hendon Hooker play. And I think everybody in Detroit wants to see Hendon Hooker play a lot because they know they're not going to get to see him play a whole ton in the regular season. You know, how far has he progressed? I want to see Isaac Tesla play. I want to see some of the other rookies play. The offensive line, the young offensive linemen getting an opportunity. Maybe not Tate Ratledge getting that chance, but seeing Mahogany play and seeing Giovanni Manu play. Those are guys I really want to. Colby Sorsdahl, because the backup offensive linemen are going to be valuable pieces for this team, and are they ready to take that step forward where they can step in a game and hopefully have things work seamlessly and play well enough if they're called upon. Because we know one injury to one of these guys on that offensive line really, really changes things.
Okay, so we got this from betonline.ag. These are odds of this player's next team. The Lions are 5-1 for this player's next team.
Is that the best odds?
No, New England's 4-1.
With the best odds. Okay, so I'm going to guess. Can I guess?
Yep.
Christian Wilkins.
The player is Christian Wilkins. Very interesting. At one point, an extraordinarily productive player. Anybody who's cut, if there's merit to the complaint that he wasn't taking, the Raiders had a problem with his rehab and the way he was doing it, I guess. I can't imagine that would fit sort of the Lions type of player. But would this player be excited? We're at a point now where players get excited to come to the Lions. Would he be a fall in line? I'll do what it takes. Let me get a 1-year deal and score big in free agency after this year. Let's go win the championship.
Well, there's also some weird report out there that said that a player on the Raiders was unhappy with him joking around, and that may also played a role. They didn't like him joking around.
What is he accused of doing? He's accused of
kissing the guy on the head or something. He was jokingly going up to him, and then the guy really took offense to it. And then shortly after that, he's released. If he is healthy, I am 100% checking in on Christian Wilkins. And yes, you have to ask yourselves, okay, what was going on there in terms of his rehab? Is he really dedicated to it or not? Is it just as simple as he doesn't want to be part of that train wreck that's there in with the Raiders? Or is it just he wasn't a fit with that team at all, but he's still a very talented player and can fit with a winning franchise?
Did the Raiders see that they had sunken money in him and were like, well, how do we get out of this? Is that it?
Don't know, but I'd definitely kick the tires. I'd talk to him.
Yeah,
at the very least.
I'm
for a team that has a need.
I'm really interested in this because him being on the open market and what he has been at times in his career. He got hurt last year. What did he play, 4 or 5 games? Let's go back and look it up. I knew we did this yesterday. It wasn't that many games. So 5-1 to get Christian Wilkins, according to betonline.ag. Kang, what do you make of this? Is this something or nothing?
I think it's nothing, but I'll stick to what I said when the story first happened, that he was just released, that, yeah, you got to make the phone call and you got to find out. I'd be more concerned about his injury than the other stuff.
Yeah.
Although I'd like to know about the other stuff if I was Holmes. You like to know everything. But I think the injury is the biggest thing that will hold him back. I'm not sure he'll play for any team because of the injury. It seems like that injury, I guess, has a tougher time to rehab and get back to it where it was. And then if he also wasn't taking it seriously or doing the rehab that they wanted him to do, that's kind of that fits in with the off the field stuff, right? Just mentally and culture wise. So I still kick the tires for sure, but I highly doubt he becomes a Lion.
Something to keep your eye on. But all right, so today, Gator, I was thinking about this game, and Dan Campbell made the comments that he didn't expect. He wanted to scrimmage today and play the guys that he didn't think was going to play on Thursday. So we're talking about the starters. The number one most intriguing guy that I think, if we asked Detroit, the player that most eyeballs will be on, is Hendon Hooker. This was a guy at one point looked like he was going to be a first-round quarterback, got hurt, dropped to the Lions, got him in the third round, and now everybody's like, well, what do they got there? Quarterbacks are exciting, and he brings a different skill set. And while the Lions have a quarterback that I love, at the end of the day, you really want to have two guys that can help you win football games. Hooker has yet to sort of ascend to a point where we can have any faith into whether or not he can, beat Green Bay in that Sunday night game if called upon, right? We don't know yet. The perfect backup is a guy that is happy in that role, that is a true pro, that prepares for every game like they're going to play, and then when called upon can go out and get the job done. I mean, is there any other case? Like Hendon Hooker is probably the biggest intrigue in this game. Nobody else probably even close, right?
No, I would imagine he is the biggest intrigue in this game, particularly after learning that the top two picks in the draft are not going to play in this game, which Dan Campbell said this morning. So that's disappointing. No Tyreek Williams, no Tate Ratledge. But maybe that's a good sign, too, because they feel pretty strongly what they have there, that they don't need to put those rookies on display just yet. Though I would think, I don't know, I go kind of both ways on this. For a guy who looks like he's now going to be starting right guard in Tate Ratledge, because sounds like Glasgow is going to be the center, that you'd want to get him as many reps as possible because he is a rookie on the offensive line. And maybe you could also get him some reps at center in the game too, just to keep up with that growth. But I trust Dan Campbell.
Yeah,
I really do.
I think he said that those guys will play in the second preseason game, but it doesn't sound like any other top two picks are going to play in this game. Outside of that, outside of Hendon Hooker, there are two young players that are depth guys that I am really going to be wanting to step up. That I think them stepping up and given draft picks, players I saw in college, players that they just kind of need to live up to whatever potential they have. And they're at the same position. One is Broderick Martin, who came up on the show yesterday, who's got elite size and has always intrigued me because Brad Holmes traded up, did not want to let a guy who didn't look like he had a third-round grade. Obviously, the Lions had a third-round grade on him or higher. He didn't want to let him escape, and he traded up to make sure he got Broderick Martin. And the other is Mekhi Wingo, who I remember from LSU and liked him a lot in college, and haven't seen much of him. But those are depth guys I would like to see perform.
Yeah, well, Wingo's out, I think.
Is he?
I think he's still out with an injury, so that's unfortunate for him. But yeah, Broderick Martin is like this enigma type player. Like, let's go, let's see it. High resource put into him, and he hasn't been healthy enough or hasn't developed enough to this point where he's gotten that opportunity.
Wingo is still out. My apologies.
But this is what preseason's for.
Yep.
You get these younger guys a chance to play because you're going to hold veterans out. And I agree with Martin. I'll give you one other name. Actually, two. One's a rookie, Hassanen.
Yeah.
I think we all want to see what Hassanen could do. And apparently this guy's like a sponge out there trying to learn everything he can. He wants to emulate his play off of what Aiden Hutchinson does, to the point where Hutchinson is joking, hey, stop stealing my moves and stuff like that.
Right.
But the other one is a little bit of a veteran here, and he's shown flashes, man.
Is this the one that you said on your show sheet you asked if people sleeping on him?
No.
Okay, because I found that really interesting. But go ahead.
Al-Qadim Muhammad.
Yeah.
This is a guy, when he's gotten into games, he's actually kind of made some things happen. He's gotten some pressure on the quarterback as an edge rusher. See how much he plays on Thursday night. I imagine he'll play quite a bit.
Yeah.
And how he does.
I think that he probably will play quite a bit. You mentioned Hassanen, sure. And then there's a player you asked, is Detroit sleeping on? Here's what's funny. You were gone, and we did this as a topic.
Yeah.
And his name did not come up.
Oh.
So I want to get to that today at 11:31. It's Karsch and Anderson. Open lines, 248-539-9797. Just a reminder, Champ and Chump are posted on our website, 971aticket.com. Go see who the people selected as Champ and Chump of the weekend. By the way, more Lions discussion in the noon hours. We will hear what Dan Campbell told the media today, kind of previewing this game against the Chargers and other stuff coming up today at 12:30 here on Karsch and Anderson on 97.1 The Ticket.